Hello, everyone, and welcome to this morning's webinar. We are going to be taking a tour of the PA Site Search ZoomProspector online data tool for business development. So just a couple things I want to say about how the tool that you are looking at here today is going to differ a little bit from the older version of ZoomProspector. You'll notice that it has a kind of split screen map on the right-hand side and property display on the left-hand side. The map, of course, is bigger and expandable, as we're going to show you. And all of the data within reports is dynamic, which means that you can sort it on the fly. We'll show you what that looks like. And the map tools also are very dynamic. So shifting things around on the right-hand side with the radius tool or the drive time tool automatically adapts all of the data in the reports themselves. We're really excited to have new virtual tour options automatically added for all properties within the system. You'll see what that looks like. And we have a brand new compare communities feature. If you've been with us for a while, you know that we used to have one. This is way more exciting and powerful than what we used to offer within ZoomProspector, so we're really excited to show that to you. And we're going to show you how the reports have been updated, how it's possible to share them, save properties into multiple project files, and use different kinds of filters for searching. Lots of really good stuff. So I am here with my colleague, Chris Gillis, who I'm going to pass the baton to in a moment, but I'm also very pleased to introduce Kelly Bonner, who many of you will know as the as the digital director from the Pennsylvania Department of Communities and Economic Development, and also Jim Neuschwander, who's the IT director from TeamPA. Hello, Kelly and Jim.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you especially to GIS Planning and to Jim as well for being here. We're excited to do this run through with you.
Good morning. Thanks, Kelly.
Excellent. So we are really pleased to be doing this with you guys. And Chris, I know that you're on the line. I'm going to pass the presenter baton over to you, and you can take us for a walk through the tool.
Okay, great. Let me see if I get the right window here. And good morning, everyone. So you should be seeing your PA site search on the screen there. I'm going to go through the whole front end shebang here, show you what you need to know and a little bit more. One quick thing, the start search here, this property tool is being updated with a new version. Right now it's the slightly older version, but we're going to go through the new one. So I will just let you know that at the start there. Jumping in, let's get into it here. It's really simple. As Elisa said, we have updated ZoomProspector for you guys. Map on the right and results on the left. Usually, or before, it was top map and bottom results. This is so much clearer and easier to use here. I'm going to start with properties, even though they're kind of the last piece in the business puzzle here, but there's a lot of features here that we've expanded in these. Search-wise, you guys are a state, you're huge, you've got a lot of diversity, you need to use some of these search tools to narrow it down. You've got, you know, almost 3,000 properties in there, you just can't kind of scroll through and pick out what looks best there. So up at the top, we can do a few things here. By location, we can search by city, county, metro, or the whole state for a location. Property types, size, whether it's for sale or lease, also the property type in terms of its use, office, industrial, and so forth. These are here. If you really want to get detailed, you can come in here and do all of those in one window. We have some additional things like, you know, opportunity zone or brownfield. If you want to do some of the ceiling heights or combine all these together, you can do that. Also, if you know there's a site and it's called the Bubblegum Factory, you can type in bubblegum in the keywords and that will return that result here. With a search, if it doesn't return the results you're looking for, ease off if you've added multiple search criteria, because sometimes that can prevent you from getting those results. A couple other searches down here are the Pinpoint tool. I'll show that in a minute in terms of how that can act like a property. But there's also filter by area down here. If you click on this and draw anywhere on the map, it will create a polygon based on what your cursor does. And then you can search for properties within that. So if you want to do along, say, 80, the whole length of the state, you can do that with the filter by area tool there. So do remember those down in the map tools there. Now, let's jump in and look at properties here. This is where we've really kind of added some things for this whole pandemic. We're in a complete mess. People aren't really allowed to travel. And, you know, smart people aren't traveling, but you're still doing business there. So we've added 4 new buttons to every single property. These are really easy and common tools to use that make it easy for you, say on a call like this with a client or another community, a company you're working with, to share a site visit. So here we are at a property. We have the photos, we have the usual information that every property does have, but up at the top, these 4 buttons are really our big thing right now. Virtual tour. If I want to come out and actually visit the community using Google Earth, I can do that with the virtual tour button here. What it's going to do, it's going to take me from my last place where I was and then jump me down into that site. Here, it'll load up and then it'll spin me around that property. And then I'll be able to see, you know, truck access, road access, in this case, freeway access. I got a good idea what's going on there. If I want to zoom out and go to town a little bit, I can figure out where lunch might be and so forth. Lots of options with this. It's not limited to just kind of loading up and spinning. Whatever you can do with Google Earth, you can do associated with that property. The map view here, if you just want a simpler view of the map, and sometimes if you zoom in, they'll be building footprints for a community, especially for the bigger cities. That's an option. Street view, if the property is near a street view location, it will show that. Here, we're on the other side of the road from that property, so it's on these trees. There's lots of green for this site, but you can navigate around with that to see the street view options. The one I like the most is the 3D rotation. With this one here, I can come in and spin around that property, get some of the same things I saw in that virtual tour, but in a little bit more limited way, but I can really quickly do all 4 sides. And just like I'm talking with you guys now, I can jump through and kind of animate my presentation here. This is really handy for truck access, getting a look at the parking. This one with all those trees around there, you can kind of see around places where just the static view of one view might not have that. So those are the 3D or the virtual tour options. Virtual tour and 3D are the big ones there. Street view is another handy one as well. And we've always had street view down here in the corner of the map, so you can always drag that. If you didn't like the look of those trees, you could jump somewhere out near the property entrance, the egress and ingress here. One thing as I go through all of this is remember there is the share button here. So as I look at anything, in this share button, it's going to show me what I have on the screen. So as I'm looking at this property, it will show that property information and the property report here. As we get into the other reports we go through here or looking at communities or the compare function, you'll be able to do that. With any property here, we have several reports. So if we look at occupation data, demographics, or labor force, we're going to set with a 10-mile radius around that location. You can change that up to 60 miles. You can go as low as 1 mile to get data associated with the American Community Survey, and it goes down to the block group level and it goes up to the county level. So block group, zip code, and county here. This, again, is coming from American Community Survey data. It comes from our partner, AGS, who does a little bit of transformation on the data and does some extra manipulation as well to get some more data out of it. But this is really handy here. I think I confused the occupation data a little bit. So the demographics, labor force, and the consumer expenditure come from AGS. The occupation data here comes from EMSI. This is a general look at the zip code or county level for expected wages. You can do it by occupation, NAICS code, hourly, and jobs here. It's also at the top of the navigation here. You can set this to look at communities as well. So this will be really handy for regions, the state as a whole, when you're talking with potential clients or pushing messages out. In addition to the occupation data, there's the wage data. This is a little bit more detailed, it's a little different, and it comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It is updated, so the occupation update is from EMSI, and it's biannual. The wages report is going to be an annual update here. But here you're going to get really into the nitty-gritty with this. So 2 options for wages there. And again, as I look at this and I share this, you're going to be able to see that. You share that with anyone else, they're going to be able to see what you're seeing. The business report, let's jump over to my other tab where I have the business report already open. So for the property we're looking at here, very simply, I can build clusters on the fly. I can display all the businesses around a particular building, but once you get out of a certain radius, it gets hard and it doesn't get useful to see all the businesses all at once. But let's say you're working with someone and they are a brown business and they serve pink businesses. They're looking at this property. Well, you can essentially show them where their competition is and where their customers are. Very, very simple. It's easy to change that radius. Also, we can search by number of employees, annual revenue. We can even look for an individual NAICS code. If you're nerding out and you know you need this particular industry sector, you can do that. Also, there are custom clusters here as well. You know, Kelly, Jim, for you guys, we can refine these more if any staff on the call is really interested in this. These are our standard set of clusters here, but if you want to build clusters statewide based on NAICS code, I can help you do that in the future. So lots of options with this business report. It's really an invaluable tool, especially for marketing messages or a client is really specific. This is what I do. This is what I want to do in the state. You can build clusters. You can share that. In fact, I can share this with you all in the chat right now, and you can open that up. As long as you've got a computer, you're going to be able to view that that link, and you're going to see the same screen view you're seeing now here. So super handy when emailing something here. You don't have to print out a map or a PDF. So do keep that in mind. In the more option, we have a city profile and a county profile as well. We'll look at that when we look at communities, but these are, essentially, what in the world is this community about? Give a quick snapshot. The talent one is super important here. So someone comes in, they're impressed with your display of the business information, but they're wondering, hey, I'm going to burn through in the next 5 years 200 of these type of employees. Are you producing that? And the answer is going to be, for you guys with all your great schools, is yes. We start off with 50 miles around that. It does not take into account the state boundaries, so it's a nationwide data set we're looking at here. We have the top 5 programs, and we have the top 5 universities here. But if that person has a question like, hey, I'm going to burn through 200 sales engineers in the next 5 years, you can come in and go, well, if you're looking at mechanical engineers, we're producing, in the last year, this. And you can give the university the number, and also it is by bachelor's, master's, and PhD, as well as associates there. So you get the full scope. You can go all the way out to 60 miles. If you really want to dial down, you can go as short as a mile. There may not be, for Pittsburgh, you obviously have some brilliant world-class schools there, but if you're a little further out, you may not have something at the lower radius numbers there. But this one answers that question like, do you have the talent? You've got the location, you've got the businesses, but is there the talent for when I come in and I need to hire? And the talent report is the yes report, essentially. And again, you can share this. If someone's talking trash about the location, saying it's not smart enough, share the talent report and say, I beg to differ. Very easy there. This is the property report here. So everything you get with a property, you get all these reports in addition to just simply the real estate information there. One thing I do want to do is show you how that Pinpoint tool works. So there's a ton of properties, but maybe someone is looking in an area and they're asking you about an intersection and there isn't a property readily available. Let's just zoom in to where, let's say these 2 roads meet. Just a little bit outside of Somerset here, we can use the Pinpoint tool. This is very, very powerful. There is this location here, or maybe you could even do this on an airport, but we'll choose this intersection. If I place this Pinpoint tool and apply it, it's just like I had immediately placed a business or a property there. what's going to happen is the same reports we just saw are going to come up. It's not going to come up with property data because there's none there. It's going to bypass the community report because it's looking just for those census block groups within that area there. So we can come in and look at the labor force around that. I can turn in on, say, let's say the smallest of businesses. I can display that by zip code. If I zoom in, I can do that by block group here. Zoom out just a little bit. And then I can share this. So this I can share with you. This same view you're getting here and the data you're looking at isn't going to be in that link forever. So when we were looking at the data on the property, just as we are now in these reports, if you have a button to the right here, you can turn that on and map that. Very, very easy there. Occupation data can be turned on as well. This is going to be at the zip code level, so it'll be a little more coarse, but give you a great idea of what's going on there. So you can really go to town. I think for you guys on the call, everyone, I want your homework to be is to come in, view a property, look at all the reports, and then use that pinpoint tool and then pretend like you're placing a property or a point to look at that around that location. This one, I think you guys at the state level and as far as staff go, this is going to be one of the important ones to gain a lot of information because you're not necessarily always going to be tied to a property. Last thing with properties here, let's look at this filter area. I kind of love this one and I always forget to show it, but it's really you draw a point. Let's say this is the corridor we're looking at. It's so easy. There's no click, 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 click. It just does it. And then here we get the properties within that. So if someone's looking in a neighborhood or along a transportation feature, such as a highway or a rail line, this is what you want to use here. That's the filter area tool down there. Very, very easy. Okay. And again, as you guys have questions, put them in that questions field up above. There is a question about where properties come from. We get these from a few different sources here. There is a data feed we do run on our end. The state of Pennsylvania is a little unique in how we're cobbling those together. So Jason, there's no single source here, but we are looking at local MLSs and some of our national real estate providers to get that data here. And let me shake, and it is not from LoopNet, but it is something similar. There is an option for these properties to be uploaded one by one in the admin if you have something you really want in and you want to add it yourself. We can talk about that at the end if need be, but for the focus of this, we're going to be focusing on the front end here. So Jason, hope that answers your question there. We just looked at properties there, but property is kind of the end of the whole process. Let's talk about communities. Let's see, let's go to the community search. So if I click on community data up at the top, I'm going to get a list of everything in the state. It's going to be by community, county, metro, or region as well, but also the whole state. Again, for search here, I can come in and let's stay in the southwest. And I can type in my community here. It's going to pull up everything that has the name Pittsburgh in it, so I can do a little narrower search and just do PITT. But I can view the details for this community. It's, instead of being a property, it's going to be the boundary we have in here. Here is that community profile I mentioned. This one is so important. It gives a quick overview of the city, county, or metro without looking at a bunch of boring tables. So it gives me the population information. I can change some of this data to look back for the past 5 years. Gives me an overview of the smarts in the region. And then also the labor force and the jobs that are in there. So keep this one in mind. You can also download any of these images here and use them in presentations. So you don't necessarily have to do that screenshot if it's too big and paste things together. This is really an easy way to get information out for presentations on your end. We have the same reports we did before, same data sources. We can still turn on labor force. Where are those small businesses within the city boundary here? I can do it by block group, by zoom out, I'm going to do it by zip code, and then I can go to county if I want. The business report here, let's turn this off so it's not on with the businesses. The businesses is mostly going to be, there's a few that are going to sneak outside the business boundary or the city boundary here, but it is going to show me businesses within the boundaries here. So here we've got the Gumball Massacre all over town. It's showing me every single business. But what I can do is come in and turn on, say, the ones I want to show. I'm a brown business. I serve red ones. Where in Pittsburgh are those located so I can make the right choice? Well, here's a map showing that. Simple as that. And again, you can still share that. It's going to give the same view here. Talent report is going to function the same way here. We're still looking at 50 miles. We just zoom into the city you're looking at there. So very, very easy here. That's communities. Do remember on community data here. So if we come in and we're looking at things, you can jump to, say, metro area and look at the same thing. So if we want to look at something larger, we will then get the same information at the same level. Do know when you are using the business reports at the state level or the, say, the metro or the regional level, it will take a long time and you're thinking it's not going to work, but it is really thinking. It is pulling however many billions of businesses are in the state. We're pulling that on the fly. So a big city or the whole state, it's going to take a while for that. What I recommend is jumping in and turning all those dots off and then choosing the ones you do want to see on. So let's say I want to show the utility ones for that. And you can kind of see it's pulsing here to thinking because it is filtering a huge set of data here. And if it does display your previous search, just give it a knock and then turn them back on there and it should do the trick. Simple as that. So that's community data. Community data is really important for you guys that are working on marketing and messaging. Lots of did you know messages can be created within ZoomProspector here. Like, did you know there's 245 utility service, power, gas, steam and waters and sewer related operations in the Metro Pittsburgh area. That necessarily wouldn't be an exact message, but you get the idea where you can pull this information here. Super, super easy. Let's see here. Couple other things. We have some standard map layers on the front end. Geography, you can turn on county boundaries and so forth. One layer we've just added, it is a work in progress, so there are only 5. This is not the total of accomplishments for this layer, but there's new expansion here, and this is some recent economic development you guys at the state have done here. We've put in just 5. This will grow in the coming days and weeks here as we get more in. But if you click on each one of these, you're going to see what in the world this is, how many jobs were created and retained. We'll try to get rid of this null. This was just put up last night. So I'd love to have that just blank there, but I didn't want to have jobs retained be 0 there. The investment information description and also more information. If you want to go out to the state's newsroom and read the full press release, or anyone can do that, you can read what in the world Ren Manufacturing is bringing to the state here. So that's a layer you can turn on here. And again, this is kind of a ridiculous map to show here with utility providers over in Pittsburgh and these 5 in the state. But if I share this, and again, I'm just harping on this because it's so important, but I'll put this in the chat. If I share this with you, you are going to see this same map here. So you guys can explore these 5. Kelly and I are working to get more in here. So be patient with us on that layer there, but you will see more of these, and this will grow over time as some of your accomplishments you're doing. Let's see, community data.
Thank you so much, Chris, for showing that.
Yeah, do you want to jump in a little bit and explain a bit more?
I was going to say I was just going to say thank you so much for showing that. And I was going to be following up today to get some more of those addresses in, because I think that's just a great element to show on the map and be able to share out to prospective companies looking to grow here. So thank you for showing.
Okay, great. All right, let's jump in. So we've done properties, we've done communities as well. And remember, when you're in community view, you can still use that pinpoint tool. You can place it down and boom, do your radius search there. Let's talk about comparing communities. So we're looking at a single metro area, but oftentimes people ask you, what about, I'm thinking of, or you'll know you're in the running with several places. So our new comparison tool for communities is very, very powerful. It's very visual and it's very easy to use. So we're going to come in, it's up at the top here, compare communities. let's jump in and let's stick again in the Southwest. We need to add one place within the state. This is going to be easy for y'all. It needs to be when you're comparing, you compare cities to cities, counties to counties, metro areas to metro areas. So if I want to say I didn't want to do cities and I wanted to do metro areas, it would be really easy. I come and do that here, and I can do metro, and I can type in the metro area, and then I will add another location. And let's do where I'm sitting here. Great, I can do that one there. And let's do across the state, that one. And let's do, I assume Allentown is its own one. Yes. Okay, so we've got 4 regions. It's going to show me on the map where those are, so it informs you and the person you're working with there. And then I hit compare reports. This is going to bring me to compare those regions there, whether it's cities, counties, or metros. So here I'm comparing metros. Up at the top, I'm going to be able to choose what type of report I'm looking at, whether it's going to be those American Community Survey data there, the demographics, the labor force, the consumer expenditure. You know, I can jump in and look, you know, by the numbers here in big tables when it gets too big to graph things. At the bottom here, I'm going to be able to slide over and see that comparison. For consumer expenditure, this is always going to be very visual. So you guys on the marketing side, lots of messages here associated with this, whatever the field you want to do. So, you know, household operations, if you want to say that, and then you can look through each one of these. Now on the top, there is the share button here, so I can again share this with you guys. Very easy to do. On the right over here, I can edit this. So let's say, you know, California's out of the running, Philadelphia's out of the running, but we need to add in, say, Springfield, Massachusetts. I can add that one in really easy, and it popped right in. It's so fast, I don't even see it update on my end. So this is a vast change from the other one. It's much, much more intuitive there. And that's the compare communities up at the top there. The final one in the navigation here is the workforce. This is going to be the EMSI data there at the state level there. So if you want to turn something on and talk about, you know, expected wages there and competition with other states, you can do that. Very, very easy. As you zoom in, this will also get down to the zip code level. Here it's playing zip code. If I zoom out, it'll go out to the county level. Okay. So that's the ZoomProspector in a nutshell there. You know, it took about 20 minutes to go over it. Again, I want you guys as homework to view a property, view a community, compare some communities there, and then turn on some map layers, especially when you're comparing the community data and some of those reports. Also, don't forget your friend, the Pinpoint tool. This is almost worth a post-it note on your monitor there, and try the filter areas tools. With that, Elisa, did I miss anything? Did I get anything totally wrong? Do you want to add any additional things here?
You didn't get anything wrong. I thought that was really excellent, and I think you did a really good job. I just wanted to maybe share our contact information, because we're really happy to help out with anyone who has questions along the way. Here, I'm just going to grab it from you for one sec. So you have Chris's contact information. Chris and Jeff Sennison run client services, and you can reach them at support@gisplanning.com. I work with all of our clients to help them use the tools as effectively as possible for marketing, communications, and promotion. So social media, you know, collateral for trade shows, slide decks, email newsletters, all that stuff. And if you have any questions related to using the data in the tool to do that, then please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd like to help with that.
Yeah.
Kelly or Jim, is there anything that you would like us to cover that we have not done yet?
I think, from my perspective, I think this was a great overview. I do want to, first of all, thank you both, Chris and Alyssa, for being on this call today and doing the tour. More exciting things to come for our team here as we start looking at how to integrate some of the intelligence and demographic components into the website. So I will leave you with that as we are continuing to research how best to put some of this data forward on our website to make it a really great tool for any site selectors or location advisors that come to the website. So more exciting stuff to come.
Yeah, and really quick, any last questions from the audience? Pump them in that questions box there. Maybe we can go through them really quickly. It doesn't look like there's any, but you know, always happy to do that. And we're gonna, you know, have this recording, send it out so you can watch this at your leisure too.
And in that follow-up email, you'll have contact information spelled out in there as well. So if questions occur to you afterwards, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're really happy to answer them for you.
Yeah. All right. Well,
excellent. Great. I think that brings us to an end. Jim and Kelly, thank you both so much for doing this with us. It's always fun to work directly with our clients on getting this kind of information out. We appreciate it. And I also want to thank all of the attendees for taking time out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we appreciate you all taking time out of your busy days to join us here today. Chris, always a pleasure to work with you. And we will be in touch by tomorrow with this link.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.